go back on it.
Okay.
Yeah. I think we're back now. I'm sorry about that. It just I swear
it's no problem.
It's got to be. It's either something with Skype or it's something with my PC's just not got the balls to handle it. I don't know which one it is.
The same thing just happened to me. I understand.
Okay, so you were, let's see, if I remember right, we were at, you were 16 and your mom had died from cancer and...
Right. Yes, and God's plan. So that's where I started questioning. So then I questioned all through college, like you do, and, but there was no outlet for atheists and people that question. So you were just kind of on your own, early, 2000, late 99, at that time period. So, jump ahead. I was working at a place down here in Houston, and the business was really going slow. So me and some buddies would always, every day, just shoot the breeze and talk about different topics. One day I came in, I said, "Hey, what's going on in a barbershop?" They instantly knew what I meant, because the tangents and the topics, it just varied just like an old school barbershop, which is awesome. And I thought, it'd be great to have some kind of show to, shoot the breeze with people. I'd probably call it the barbershop or something like that. And then last year, a buddy of mine had his podcast. Shout out to the Warp Cave, which is no longer, but rest in peace. And he had me on his show, and we were doing a fan commentary of Jurassic Park. In the first 5 minutes, the black dude died, right? And I said, "Yeah, good old Spielberg, killed the brother in the first 5 minutes." And, the host, that show is about pop culture. I'm talking about race. And he said, "Yeah, so what do you think about the special effects?" So he tried to, steer me away from that. And I said, "You know what? If I had my own show, I would talk about race and movies and stuff like that." And September 1st, 2015, first episode was posted, and I've been going ever since.
All right. Well, hey, that sounds kind of like with me. I'd been hearing so many podcasts going of different things. I came across yours actually. I think you had guest hosted or had been a guest on Ishmael's show at one point, and that's where I heard of yours. And then I went and listened to it, and it just blew my mind. I really do enjoy your show because there's not a set format. There's not set topics or a set agenda to it. It's just you talking to somebody and just getting their story, and I just absolutely love that about your show in particular.
Right on, man. I'm with you. When I heard the brew pub, I was like, "Oh, okay." I guess that's like the the same environment of the barbershop. You're just sitting having some drinks and just shooting the breeze, and you get your hair cut, then go to the pub.
Exactly.
So yeah, but I can't stand structure. No, that sounds like I'm irresponsible. I mean, I can't stand. Yeah, we're off the rails, right? No, I can't stand like sticking to an outline. Okay, this is the time. This is the introduction. Now this is the middle. It's too a robotic. I can't stand that. More. I love jazz. I think that explains it. I love jazz. I love the tangents. Improv. Just come back to the end, rap a song, it's like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I've listened to some jazz, so I kind of know what you're talking about as far as with the flow of it. It's just a little bit of, they'll throw chords in out there that just someone will throw in a seventh minor major six or something in the middle of it. You know,
Hey,
just,
all right, yeah, that's speaking my language now. Right?
well, music is one of my hobbies too. I'm not especially good at it, but you know, I played a little bit. I used to sing in church when I was a kid, when I was really little. My dad was a musician. My younger brother tried to make it professional in Tulsa as a country singer. I tried to learn guitar, and I got to where I knew about 4 chords, and that's about it.
Yeah, I think everybody knows about 4 chords. Don't be too hard on yourself.
Well, that's really all you need for most songs. But I went and worked I was actually the manager of a bluegrass store up here that was like the major source of bluegrass and banjo stuff for about a year. And it was I learned really quickly that I don't know as much as I thought I did.
Yeah, it's insane to think about the amount of combinations you can do with music. I respect those guys. That's why, you know, I like on my show, for example, I try to feature different music every week because, you know, those guys that are out there gigging for practically nothing just for the sake of music, I respect the hell out of that. So I'll try my best to get their music out because I sure still can't do it.
Yeah, I love listening to just about anything. I've gotten to where though that I break out the bluegrass only when I'm having a really bad day at work. And that's that's to remind me that things could be worse.
Yeah. Ain't that the truth?
Oh man, but no, the lady that I worked for, she was actually, she's retired from the business end of it. But most of the bluegrass banjo players that are out there today credit her with teaching them banjo because she started these just basic banjo courses, and everybody just picked them up. So
that's amazing. God, the story she has. Oh man.
Oh, no kidding. And she sat down and tried to show me all of the different parts of the banjo and how they all work together, and I'm just sitting there going, "Ooh, shiny."
Yeah. Now, when you were in choir, what part were you? What did you sing?
Well, I wasn't in the choir when I sang in church because I grew up Pentecostal, the redneck version of Pentecostal, where if there is a choir, it's basically the preacher's wife and whoever else wants to get up on the stage and sing.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But my dad, I guess a little bit of info on me. My biological mom died when I was about 6, and then Dad remarried about just a little over a year later to my stepmom, and she was Pentecostal, and so he started going to church for her, and he quit drinking and all that good stuff, and then he got saved and filled with the Holy Ghost, and so the rest of the family had to go right along with it. But I would sing in church with him, and we would do other songs. My dad would be on the local radio station every once in a while, and we'd get to sing with him. So I really didn't do much as far as a part goes, but
okay.
I'm pretty much a tenor. If you couldn't tell from the high pitched talking.
I don't know what it is, but if you got a deep voice, it's easier for you to sing like higher falsetto. It's a whole voice phenomenon. I'm gonna sound stupid because I haven't studied this in like 10 years, but I couldn't tell. That's why I was asking. I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
Well, good, because I like to try to slip in there. But yeah, that makes sense because Freddie Mercury, when he talked, he's a baritone, but you listen to him sing and he's way up there. So
right.
And Tom Petty's the same thing. He's got a deep talking voice, but when he sings, he's up there in that same range too.
Yeah. Prince was it? Oh my God, that guy!
Oh, that he is the master.
I think he breathed as a baritone.
It's possible. I mean, that guy, he just amazed the hell out of me. I've been a fan of his ever since I first heard his music, which of course was Purple Rain. That was the first thing that I got introduced to, and I've heard some of the stuff before that. that I really like. But Prince was the man. I mean, that guy could play 20 instruments.
Yeah.
Jesus.
While waking up.
Yeah,
and
his first album. They said that his first album, he did all of the music for it. He just did everything himself, and he just recorded it in his basement. It was like, holy shit!
Produced it, everything. Yeah. He was the epitome of a control freak.
Oh no shit!
Wow. Yeah.
That man was amazing. I mean, they call Elvis the king of rock and roll. No, Prince,
right.
Prince was the shit. I mean, he was just awesome.
He was. Oh man,
I was
sorely missed.
Yeah, I sat and listened to the Purple Rain soundtrack on repeat when I heard he died. I mean, I just sat and just cried because it was.
Yeah.
Him.
You know what it was for me?
What's that?
Was the Batman soundtrack. I listened to that when he passed away.
My favorite song on that soundtrack has to be Arms of Orion. You know, that one love song duet in that album. That is
right.
That is my favorite song on that whole album.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I know where you're coming from there.
God. Oh man. Oh.
Yeah, and I didn't know that he had written for the Bangles too.
I didn't know that either.
He wrote their first hit, or not their first hit, but the Manic Monday. He wrote that.
That's right. Yeah.
And Sinead O'Connor's big song, that was him.
Yeah, that's right. I was just about to mention her. Yeah, that when you can make hits for other people and yourself, yeah, you're bad. Mm-hmm. You're bad.
Yeah. Exactly. That guy he was phenomenal. He's sorely missed. Him and Jim Henson were probably the two people that I actually cried over when I heard they died.
I cried with Jim Henson as well. Yeah. That was shortly before my mom died.
Mm.
Oh, God.
Okay, that means that you and I are probably pretty close to the same age then. Cause, I was 30. I was a sophomore in high school, so that was
sophomore. Yeah, me too. Yeah. That was, I don't know what it was about the 90s. I think it was because it was almost 2000 and, the world was supposed to come to an end. And, I don't know. It was just every year, getting closer,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then we hit it and it's gone and it's like, oh, wow.
Yeah, I played my Super Nintendo 64. But,
Oh man, yeah, Super Mario Brothers. That was that wasn't my first video game. It was my first Nintendo game.
Yeah, me too, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and I remember going to a friend's house because he had the Atari. What was it? It was the 2600. I think it was the the one that had the wood paneling. And the little joystick with the one button. And my favorite game on that one, we played Combat.
Oh my God! Look. I gotta tell you something. I gotta share this story. Share you this story?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
are you sure you're not the one that's drinking tonight?
Yeah, right. That's some badass.
What do you got in that water in Houston? I gotta get down there.
No, I before my stepson went off to the Air Force, I would play these old school games on these emulators, and I would. Show him some old NES games, Genesis, just horrible games that I would never buy. And to make him appreciate that Xbox, PlayStation 3, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so we played, I downloaded the 2600, and we played Combat. I kid you not, for 5 hours.
Oh, wow.
Straight. And it just doesn't get old. It doesn't get old. It's such a great game.
And that was back in the day when the games, they just kept going. It never ended.
That's right. That's why going. We kept playing.
Oh, now you actually did a whole month of October on Fridays where you were doing you were streaming yourself playing video games.
Yeah. That was fun. It was. I've always wanted to do that, and it's a guilty pleasure of mine, but I watched PewDiePie on YouTube, and the guy's hilarious, in my opinion, and it's just goofy, fun, and mindless also, and that's why I enjoy it. And I thought, it'd be kind of funny to make fun of myself playing scary games because